Hello, welcome to another live stream. Hope you're all doing well, and I'm going to get Glenn straight on so I can get into it. Good evening, Glenn.
Hello.
I might have clicked just at the right time then, just to get you on. How are you doing?
Amazing. I'm all right. How are you?
Yeah, I'm not bad. I know I briefly for 20 seconds spoke to you just before we started the stream, so I'll carry on my story and let everyone in. I hurt myself kickboxing. I had my gloves on, but someone went to kick me. I blocked them, and it caught bone on bone, their shin versus my hand, and it's hurting a bit now. So I apologise if I'm slow to click people's comments on screen or do anything else. How are you doing anyway?
So you've only got the one hand now, then?
No, I've got two hands, but this one hurts when I'm gripping or anything new.
Yeah. Why don't you put like a little SpongeBob SquarePants plaster on it or something? That'll make your boo-boo feel so much better.
I bet, yes. How are you keeping on?
I'm all right, to be honest. Yes, I've had quite a... tilt it, man. Tilt it.
It's not working. It's not standing up anymore.
It's not tilting.
I was doing movie quotes and it's not working. So yeah, I've had it.
No, I've had quite a casual half-hour build up to this. Played with the dogs and I've watered the garden and that's been it. Exciting.
Good.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm going to jump to comments and see who we've got with us because I noticed some Meowsalot's actually popped on earlier. I don't think he's going to be in the stream tonight because he's with his mum for Mother's Day, which is
as he should be.
Yeah, in the US, but not in the UK. We had that a week or two ago, I think. Something like that. Something like that. But we'll see who else is in the chat and with us now as well. Anyway, Dave Nichols is with us in the chat as well. He's got a question already, but we'll swing back around to this as well. I think the question is how much physical media is seen as having too much, which we'll probably get into during this discussion anyway. So on there, we've got Jeremy with us as well. We've got Cam Curry. Good evening, Cam. Hope you're well. Real Sketchman has made it to a live stream. First time showing up where can be part of the chat.
Nice.
I hope you've got something interesting to say. Hopefully. Woody is with us. I think we've said that. I'm just looking for these comments. Have around 500 movies and TV shows. Arguably, it's too much, but I don't have terrestrial TV and only sign up to Netflix for a month in December.
Wow.
That's good going. Anthony Lipiello is with us as well.
December then? Or is that just purely Christmas movies?
Sit and watch.
Oh, I see.
I bet. All the bigger stuff. Antonella Piello is with us as well. Hello, Phil, and to all of you lovely people out there in the chat, wherever you are. We've got Lynn in the other room. Hello, Lynn.
Cheers. Hi, Lynn in the other room.
I hope Lynn's been busy helping watering plants and things as well.
She's also been playing with the dogs and feeding the dogs and...
John Robinson, good evening, John. Hope you're well. Popcorn and Horror. Howdy, Phil and Glenn. Cinema-san is with us as well. Hey, everyone. Hey, Cinema-san.
Cinema-san.
Jerry Chia. Hey, ho, Phil and Glenn. And everyone.
Jerry.
We've got Michael Williams. Evening, gents. Missed the last live stream, so looking forward to this one. I hope that don't build us up too much. Not just yet. We've got the Blue Corner as well. Must be Sunday again. Oh, well. Oh, well, indeed. Big Jace. Good evening, Phil and Glenn.
Big Jace.
Good evening, Big Jace. There we go. Right. So let's kick us off.
Go on then.
We're going. Now, do you want to jump straight to topic?
I mean, shall we? Yes. Let's get the ball rolling, shall we?
Oh, goodness me. I wanted to say hi to Ethan as well, who's joined us. Hey, Ethan Schneider. Hope you're well.
Hey, Ethan Schneider.
And there we go. So, topic of the week. We have got too much choice can suck. Which
now I did say to you, I wasn't sure about that thumbnail.
No,
we're stood very close. It's uncomfortable.
I can't help it. I can't help it with the thumbnails, man. I've not got much time to do these things. Stop pressuring me. Always stood too close. Does it matter? Does it matter? We're looking.
Not really. You've shrunk quite a lot, and
I know. I don't sometimes sort it out. But don't judge me. But yeah, it's too much choice.
Too much.
Too much. The reason being, we were looking. Me and Glenn were discussing topics a little bit, and what topics should we do this week? And Glenn messaged me and said, You know what? I'm looking at my shelves. He sent me a picture of his shelves as well. It says I'm looking for inspiration for what topic to jump into. And he says, I'm just undecided. And then it sprang on me. You know what? That, in its way, is a topic itself. Do we go through our shelves and do more browsing than actually watching? Because I know this is books. I'm sorry. I apologize. I put this together quickly, but do we just stare at the shelves more than actually sitting down to watch them? Because I do it all the time. When I sat into those specials, I thought, yeah, actually, that's something I do. If I've got time to watch it, time to watch something, and I need to decide, I'll come up into my room with all my movies, and I'll be sat or stood or knelt down looking through the collection for a good half hour without any decisions. Is there too much? Is there just too much choice? Do you get you? Obviously, you must have the same, because you said you were looking for inspiration for a topic, and you found the same shelves. There was just
I'm better now than when they were all upstairs. I mean, what you can see. Oh, hang on, I'll get my thing right. What you can see there, times that by 4. That's what I used to have upstairs.
Yeah,
and I'd say, should we watch a film? Yeah, let's watch a film. Right, I'll go and pick something. And I'd just disappear for like 20, 25 minutes. Sometimes just be completely on. The ideal is you kind of go, I fancy an 80s horror or something. So you can narrow it down that a little bit. But 9 times out of 10, if you're quite open to things, you just start looking at your shelves and you just get lost in there.
Yeah.
I think it's sometimes easier if it's just you watching something.
Yeah.
But when you have to choose something that more than yourself will enjoy, I think that complicates things a little bit. But yeah, I could just stand and stare and go off on a complete tangent where I go, oh, I forgot about that. I've not seen that for ages. And then you start reading the back and you're going, forgot this, I've got all these extras and what have you. And before you know it, like I say, an hour's gone.
Yeah, I think there is. I don't know if you think the same, but it is a struggle when I'm browsing more than watching. Sometimes I do browse for too long and then end up thinking, I've not got time for a film now, or I need something shorter, so I need to book something different. But as well as having too much, I think there is a certain joy that comes with browsing through my collection. I like picking the things off the shelf and having another look at them. And it probably adds to that procrastination about what to watch and things like that. But I do enjoy that time looking at the collection as well.
I think it's all kind of, I think we're probably all very much like it with, if we go to HMV and we're looking at CDs, or we go to Waterstones and we're browsing books, or, I think it's it must be an aspect of a collector mentality.
Yeah.
Where we enjoy that browsing experience. We enjoy it's not necessarily physical media, but the physical aspect of it, where you can pick something off a shelf and look at it. It's like, comic shops and what have you. It strokes it affectionately and puts it back quite often. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, Carol.
Yeah. No, that's fine. No. Just throwing out there my little sexual things that I do. That's fine. No privacy anymore, is there? But yeah, I think that must be an aspect of us collector-wise. If we all went in a comic book store, guarantee we're just going to stand there and start browsing through comics and stuff, aren't we?
Yeah.
It's one of those aspects of it.
Let's just jump into the comments. I'm going to jump back and forth a bit more on the comments, or try to, so we don't get too far behind. Woody just came back as well about why December for Netflix. It's because it's dark all the time and I'm climbing the walls for something to do at 4 p.m. So pass the time binge watching. That's for the Netflix.
Makes total sense, Woody.
Michael Williams, I see the mustard chair is back.
It is. It's give the people what they want, really. At one point, I was actually set up where I was sat on it and doing this, but it was just I couldn't get the camera right and things. So, yeah. Where's the yellow chair today, Glenn?
It's right there. Here we go. I just want to say hey to a couple of other people. John Allison is with us as well. Hey all. AceMec with us as well. Hey AceMec, hope you're doing well. AJ Pink with us as well. Good evening, AJ.
Good evening, AJ.
Woody, thumbnail has the mustard chair. I like it. That was planted. I planted that.
It made me
AJ also loves seeing the chair as well.
The chair has its fans.
Johnny Carrot Heed is with us as well.
Johnny Carrot Heed.
There we go. With the blue corner. While I have a big collection, I still feel it's easier to find something to watch from it than would be from looking through Netflix, etc. Yeah, Netflix can be it.
Yeah. Am I going to ruin a thumbnail or anything if I start talking about Netflix?
Yeah, we'll come on to that later.
Okay, then.
Woody, don't have that issue, Phil. Why not, Woody? Details. Oh, there we go. I tend to decide what genre I feel like first, comedy, and then it's easier to choose.
Exactly. If you can narrow it down.
I still linger a lot as well. Slipknot's with us as well. Good evening, Slipknot. Hope you're doing well. Cam Curate Cinema. If you have too much choice with physical media, you can't see the forest for the trees. It's the same issue people have with streaming services, spend more time scrolling than watching a movie. Yeah, absolutely. It is that thing. I think I spoke about it in one of my videos when the things become sort of wallpaper. The things that you see every day, the things that you used to seeing, so they don't register as much with you. So when you're looking through them, it's like a rediscovery as such, because you've passed them that many times that they just don't stick in your head as much. So when you're browsing through, it's like, oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. When you're having a proper look.
Is that the noise you make as well?
Yeah. Oh, it is, yeah.
Oh, look at that.
My problem is that I don't get a minute to sit down and think of anything. Life's 100 miles an hour. I agree. It's very often, if we've got a window for watching a movie on an evening at some point, I often have to try and decide a lot earlier, hours before, in the daytime before the evening, and have it sort of selected out. Because if it came to choosing in the evening, I'd have no hope whatsoever.
But as Ferris Bueller said, life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you might miss it.
Absolutely. Michael Williams, depends on the size of your collection, but I think choosing from your own library of films is far easier and quicker than trying to find something on streaming. It can be, yeah, because I know when I hit streaming, I very much eyes light up with the new releases, and you just end up watching absolute nonsense. But yeah, so Jerry Cheer, literally on the bus home from central London, just picked up Lost Boys, The Brutalist, and Long Kiss Goodnight.
Nice.
I think... is that a 4K purchases, I think? I hope. Well,
I'm just going to jump ahead with that ever so slightly and to say I started rewatching The Lost Boys this week.
Have you?
Yeah. On a streaming service.
Maggots, Michael. You're eating maggots.
Exactly. That's very early on. I didn't even realise how quickly that was part of the film.
Yeah. Camp Curate Cinema. I just have a handful of movies that I go back to again and again, and once in a while we'll add a movie to the collection.
Cam, I would love to say the same. I really would.
But look at the shelves behind you. Anthony, I have no issues with my own collection because it's not as extensive, which is very easy for me to know what I got. I think that's it. It's, I've got a mess of movies in the other room through there that, it does take browsing through to rediscover what I've got, because a lot I've forgotten about, and I need to get that under control again. I made this. I have all my unwatched films listed with numbers and get people to give me a number between 1 and however many unwatched films I have. It's in the hundreds, and then I'll watch that.
I like it.
I would love that idea, but I know I am not strict enough. I'd pull a number out and say, right, I'm going to watch this today. I'd pull it off the shelves. It's like, nah, don't fancy that.
Fancy it though? Yeah, I'm not sure about that one. Yeah. I always just, I take a stack into Lynn and she'll have a browse and kind of narrow it down to 2 or 3 or something. And then I literally have to put them behind my back, like one in each hand, and then left or right. And then whichever she chooses, that's the one we watch.
Do you get the thing? Because I do this sort of thing as well. Generally, with my missus, I'll take sort of a choice of 3 or 4 movies. I'll take them down. I'll leave them with her. I'll go and make a cuppa or something. I'll come back and say, oh, did you pick one? Oh, don't really mind. I'll leave it with you. And then you're sort of back to square one thinking, I don't want to ruin the film for her by picking something I want to watch. I want to make sure she'll enjoy it too. And then it starts a whole nother thing.
But that's, you're a caring, sharing lover, Phil.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's the word on the net.
Glenn and Phil, choice paralysis and getting diverted, then choosing something totally different from your original choice, being there loads of times.
I quite like the term choice paralysis.
Yes.
That's very good, John.
It is good, isn't it?
That might appear on one of Phil's thumbnails in future.
Silent Hill. Hello, everyone. Hello, Silent Hill. Hope you're well.
Hey.
Alex with us as well. Good evening, Alex. Jericho. Yeah, definitely easier for me to find something in my collection than reading descriptions on streaming. I don't read the descriptions on streaming. I go for the poster.
Yeah.
A lot of the time. Silent Hill. Try to find something good on streaming services. So much junk movies out there. I'm discovering that more and more. There's I'll watch a movie because I think it looks good. The trailer looks okay, and then it's just forgettable.
I would argue with you there that 9 times out of 10, the trailer looks bloody awful. But you go, yeah, I'll give that a look. Some of the stuff you watch.
Popeye 129. Tubi is overwhelming. Do you ever look on Tubi? I know it's not as good in UK as it is in perhaps the US at the moment, but
yeah, it's not taken off in the same way at all, has it, over here? But no, I can't say it's one I browse, if I'm honest.
No. AJ, I've had some films on the watch pile for a year or two. Need to find the right mood for some of them. I've got films like that. I've got some movies down here that I know they're quite long movies, like 3 hours plus or approaching 3 hours. And they're just always too long for what time I've got in the evening. So they just wait and wait and wait because I don't like splitting a movie. If I'm watching something, I like to watch it the whole way through.
Well, as you are aware, I'm no longer recommending films to you. But one that was recommended to you a long time ago was Babylon. And that's obviously a particularly long movie.
Yes. And it is one I want to watch.
But, yeah, worth every second for sure. But
yeah. Anyway, yeah. So with all this thing, does too much choice lead you to no choice? Do you know what I mean? Do you browse and just give up and not end up watching anything? Just end up with TV nonsense because you just can't make a decision
all the time.
Yeah.
Can I just say on that thumbnail that you brought up, it does look like we're about to do some MMA and we're squaring off.
Possibly in a room of movies.
Maybe. I'm going to pull a gun on you by the looks of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, quite often. More often than not, to be honest.
By
the time you've faffed around, like you say, you've got kind of 20 minutes gone of your very, very precious time to watch a film. You just think, should we just watch, and you watch you watch a lot of procedural 911, Chicago Fire, that type of thing, don't you? I think sometimes it's easier to plump for something like that.
Yeah, we've dropped off some of them where possible, but it would still end up just getting drawn into that sort of nonsense from time to time because it's easy watching after a day at work. So
we do it at the minute. We'll kind of, what do you fancy watching? I don't really know. Should we put another episode of The Traitors on? We're now on season 3. We're absolutely annihilating the thing. It's very good, but
what do you say is the thumbnail now looks like a Matrix training room?
Doom, 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 doom.
We need lots of movies.
Yeah.
I do it now and try and think of a film to watch, and then go downstairs like, put what you want on, and it will end up in some nonsense. I'm trying to think of what procedural ones we've been watching recently, but it is, you're right, it's 911, and sure there's been something else, things like Reacher and stuff like that we've been watching, which is nonsense.
Reach around.
Nearly.
Yeah.
But I know one of the things that you were going to get to, which I'm going to pull back around now as well. It happens when you can't make the decision. Do you just give up and head over to that streaming?
No, mine's the other way round, to be honest. But I start on streaming. Yeah. And I said to you in a message that my collection's almost become like a bit of a backup. Let's say I wanted to watch, I don't know, Evil Dead 2 or something. That sprung in my mind and I thought, I'd sit and watch that again. I think I'd look for it on streaming before I actually got up. That look. Well, it's like you listen to me from time to time. It's crazy.
Oh, no.
And then if I can't find it streaming, then I'll head in here to the collection.
Yeah,
I'd say it's become like almost a safety net, something to fall back on, just in case it's not on stream. And I think we're, well, I'll probably just speak for myself. I think I've become lazy. It's very easy to just kind of pick up the TV remote and just start trying to find something there before actually move into your collection.
I've known of people, I can't think where from off the top of my head, but I've seen a few people mention that they've actually rented a movie on a service before to sit and watch because they couldn't be bothered to go to their room to pick up the movie.
I've never done that. I've never done that.
Would you be tempted to? If it was on offer, 99 pence rental, would you just
No, I would get off my arse at that point and I would actually come here and take it off the shelf. I wouldn't go that far.
No.
Wow, that is bone idle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm with you.
Unless anyone that's watching does that and then it's cool. Yeah. Like and subscribe. Yeah, exactly.
I don't know why yours going to do that, but
no, but
yeah, I must say that I'm probably in some kind of agreement where it'll be browsing, streaming before I think about digging into the collection. And it's not just the streaming services like Netflix and things like that. I'll grab out my phone and I'll be flicking through what's on my Apple TV library and things like that as well before I even look at the collection, which really I should be coming up here because I've done a separate shelf full of movies that I wanted to get to as a priority. And to be honest,
you need to move them downstairs so they're nearer the TV.
Yeah, I do, but I don't want to at the same time. I don't want to separate my collection and have it in different areas of the house. I want it all together now. I don't want it to be invading other spaces.
Well, now you're just being awkward.
Yeah, I know.
You've given me a problem. I've given you the solution. You don't want to know.
No, it's prioritizing streaming before the shelves, basically. And I've done it. I got Babylon. I bought that on iTunes. So I've got Babylon 4K on iTunes, but I also got the physical copy, but the iTunes version is just there to click if I needed to. It was on offer for like $2.99 for the 4K version. Yeah. I was like, I'll get that because I'll might more than likely watch it if it's on streaming and I can just click it.
I'll get that because it'll save me going up those stairs.
Yeah, and that as well. Yeah.
Why burn those extra calories when you can just sit there and eat more chocolate?
Just hopping back to the comments, Michael Williams actually chose to watch a VHS copy of The Lost Boys the other night over my 4K. Fancied a bit of nostalgia.
Again, I've mentioned before, some of like the 80s horror movies and what have you. I think I'd quite like to watch, I mentioned Evil Dead 2. I think I'd quite like to watch Evil Dead 2 on a VHS copy again.
Really?
Yeah, I think it adds to films like that. But I think that's just a nostalgia trip, isn't it, more than anything?
Yeah, it's just it'd be very difficult for you to do now, though. Not only do you need a VHS player and a VHS, but it's the connections to the new TVs as well, because you wouldn't be able to just dump a SCART lead in there.
Has been flagged to us various things. Can we just start calling it a VCR?
Okay.
Yeah, no, we got moaned at, if you remember, because we kept saying a VHS player. Somebody said, for God's sake, it's a VCR.
No, it's not. No. It's a VHS player.
It's a VHS player.
It's officially called a VCR, but in the UK, VCR seemed more of a US term, and everyone in the UK used to call them VHS players. As far as I know, my dad was a TV and video engineer, and that's all that people used to refer to them as, VHS players. VCR was seen as more of an American term than a UK one. So, yeah, it was always VHS players for me growing up in my area.
But then that was always overshadowed if you had a top loader. Then you would just literally refer to it as a top loader.
Yeah.
Yeah, just pop it in the top loader and we'll watch it.
The top loader.
Top loader.
Anyway, Johnny Carrot here. Anyway. Last time I was on Tubi, I caught Head of State, the Chris Rock movie from the 2000s. Wasn't even popular then, but I liked it. It's obviously a cheap filler for Tubi, though. Yeah, I think a lot of the UK Tubi stuff is cheap filler at the moment, but I'm sure it'll grow over time. Sure it will. Jeremy Carr, when I browse for food, I eat cheese while looking until I make a decision what to eat. There. I think Jeremy, it's dangerous having cheese out wherever you are. If I'm cooking tea, if there's a block of cheese out, I'll take nuggets off it and eat chunks of cheese as I'm cooking and then have the meal as well. And this is while I'm classed as obese. Anyway, John Allinson, Mubi is a good option. A very small selection that's constantly changed. I've never used Mubi. Have you?
No, but maybe we need to click on it and have a bit of a browse.
I don't think it's got. Has it got its own channel, or is it part of like a rentable channel through Apple TV or Amazon? If you know what I mean, you subscribe to it through them. Like,
I felt like I got a separate. We just bought but the TV we bought upstairs was just like a Hisense or something, because we knew we weren't going to be using it all that much and stuff. And I feel like that's got an actual icon app thing on there separate.
Right.
Maybe.
You'll have to have a look.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Jeremy says, same Glenn, give up streaming and head to the collection. So there, John Thompson, choice paralysis must be an adult movie collector thing. When my kids were young, and now my grandkids, they can watch the same film again and again in the same week. They choose films so quickly.
To be honest with you, I can do that, though. I'm probably more comfortable doing that than I am actually coming and getting something new that I haven't seen before.
I think sometimes that's the way for me as well. You go back to if you had a run of watching particularly poor films, and you go to pick something, it's like, right, I need something reliable, something that I know I'm going to sit down and actually get some enjoyment out of, because I'm sick of these Netflix movies that just go nowhere.
Well, like Lynn will walk through the front room and I'll be sat there and she'll go, oh, not Glass Onion again. Yeah, Glass Onion again. It's fine. It's my kind of
comfort movie.
Kind of it's in the background, and I can wander off if I need to and come back and just pick up where I left off. I've watched it far too many times, but there.
Have you got other comfort movies? What do you tend to go for?
Debbie Does Dallas. There's another one that I was going to say, but I'm not sure whether you'd be allowed because it's swearing, but it's not bad swearing.
Change the word. Let's see if we can guess. Or mime it.
I can't. Mime it. Yeah.
Mime it.
Show that body part on the screen rather than say the word.
Yeah.
No, I think we'll just move on. We'll move
on. Okay. I'm just thinking of if I've got any particular comfort movies that I head for a lot, but I don't think there's any to the point that the wife would say, "Oh, this again." Because
I think that's an easy one for me because it's on Netflix.
Yeah,
and it's just I'll click on that and I'll put that on. I like something on in the background a lot, whether that's music or just a film that I know well or something.
Yeah,
I don't tend to like sit in silence or anything.
No,
Jeremy, not Howard the Duck, not Trancers. Absolutely desperate.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think comfort movies that I'd go to. It's a bit stuff like Roadhouse would get reviewed no end of times. I have it on the background.
As we, I mean, we did a watch along, didn't we, for Scream? That's something that we've both watched a million times over.
Yeah, sorry, I'm moving my monitor because I think it's going to be
very sunny in the UK today, isn't it?
Johnny Carrot-Head, Googling where to watch to find streaming services irritates me no end. I tend to, I don't Google where to watch. I tend to go to the Apple TV app, put the title in there, and generally it'll tell you where it's streaming and also the cost of renting and the cost of buying as well.
It does do that. You're right.
Yeah, I use that a lot when I'm looking for things for the kids, because the other week when it was Easter, they suddenly wanted to watch Hop again. So I was able to head onto Apple TV, just look it up, and it's on ITVX. We can watch it on there or wherever.
So you let your kids watch Russell Brand movies, do you?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Sorry. Blue Corner. I rip a lot of my favourite movies to HDD and stream them via Plex. I have my own streaming service that way with only stuff I love.
Nice.
I think you've considered something similar before, haven't you, Glenn?
Yeah, definitely. If I could do that with a good, oh my God, pick the right side. If I could do that with a bulk of my movies, I think I would do,
Yeah.
I don't think it necessarily bothers me whether it'd be on a shelf or not. Just we've talked about this before with like iTunes and things, that you never actually own it. You are just technically buying access to it. You're buying a code to view it in their library. You never actually own it. Whereas if I could rip all of these, or the majority of them, I'd definitely do that, I think.
Yeah.
And then just have a backup to make sure they were all safe.
Yeah. The culture vultures. I like this problem. I've recently discovered the joy of just sitting down and staring at my shelves. I have my unwatched movies out. So I'm just not just seeing the spine, but looking at the front art. Like I said, I think there is a certain amount of enjoyment to actually just sat looking through your collection. I don't think we'll get enough time to do that, which is why when we go to the shelves, we are in that choice paralysis kind of thing. It's but I do like
Was it John that said that term? Because I think that's going to get used quite a lot now.
It was, yeah.
Choice paralysis, yeah. Can I just say, Jeremy Carr, Google Russell Brand. He's been very naughty lately and been in court.
Yes. Plex also has a few things on its own streaming thing as well. There we go. Slipknot fan, have you guys seen Until Dawn 2025? No, I haven't.
No, I mean, I saw really good reviews of it because it's based on a video game, isn't it?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah. And I saw really good reviews.
Isn't it David Sandberg?
Sorry?
Isn't it David Sandberg directing?
Oh, I don't know. Couldn't tell you.
Okay.
I saw really good reviews, and then when it actually got released, the reviews weren't so great. So it felt like it was all very biased in the build-up to try and generate a bit of interest.
Until Dawn. Let me have a look who's directed it. Sorry, I'm intrigued now because I'm sure David Sandberg, yeah, it was. Right, okay. And David Sandberg, if you don't know who it is, he directed quite a few big ones like Shazam and Lights Out and Annabelle Creation as well. So pretty big director in a way. Not the biggest, but you'd expect him to make a solid movie.
Who asked if we'd say, Slipknot. Have you seen it then, Slipknot? Did you like it?
Let us know down below.
Yeah.
The Blue Corner VHS tapes doesn't look great on a modern TV to begin with. Would prefer the old school TV if I had to go that route.
Yeah. But then you've got to get a forklift to lift it up and move it into your living room. And
the screen size, it's just so tiny now in comparison to the screens that you get. What was the biggest widescreen CRT that you could get? Is it like 42 inches or something?
Something like that. They weighed a ton, didn't they?
Yeah.
Absolute ton.
They did. John Robinson, I have one of those Panasonic VCR players made, and it has HDMI connections.
Yeah.
So there are options.
There are.
Movies are real. The Exorcist always looked better on VHS. When it was banned in the UK, we used to watch a copy of a copy after coming back from the pub.
Nice.
I think that must be one of the earliest examples of pirate videos. I think E.T. was probably one of the biggest ones at the time, but then Exorcist was probably around the same time, hot on its heels for the big pirated film of when they started doing that. Where piracy began.
Randomly, I had a VHS copy of Texas Chainsaw Massacre where that was still banned.
Did you?
And I got that off my carpet fitter.
I had to wait until Texas Chainsaw Massacre was on DVD in the US, and then I got it imported when I had a multi-region player. So I watched it really late. I never saw it on VHS. It wasn't until DVD, because I got that, and I got Clockwork Orange as well when I discovered the magic of imports. So I'd never seen them both either on VHS or anything. It wasn't until DVD.
I don't think I watched Clockwork Orange very early on, to be honest. I don't think the interest was there for me.
No.
Horror was always my thing. So the fact that I could get Texas Chainsaw when it was still banned over here jumped at the chance.
Woody says Shawshank Redemption is something I can always watch, or Kingpin if I fancy a comedy. Arrival and Interstellar are highly watched too.
Nice. I keep that.
Shawshank's not a rewatcher for me like that.
No, it probably isn't for me. Arrival, Lynn hasn't seen, and I keep saying we should watch that because I did quite like that.
Fair. I'm going to have to sort some light out here. That sunshine's really getting in. Sorry. Apologies. skip on. Sorry, I'm just skipping through the comments to find something on here. Ace Mac, the outlaw Joseph Wales for me. Are you going to pull them pistols or whistle Dixie? Classic. You guys don't often mention westerns.
No, we probably don't, to be honest.
No.
Do actually watch it. Yeah, well, I mentioned them not that long ago in the respect of we went through. Lynn's a huge Clint Eastwood fan, so we did go back through the Man with No Name trilogy. I quite like Pale Rider as well as an Eastwood one. Now that's a fine piece of hickory. It's great. He's amazing in those. He really is.
I must admit, there's a couple of westerns I've not watched, but I do have on my list to watch. But my partner, she won't watch westerns. She's not bothered about westerns at all.
Right.
Not at all. So it's been a real struggle to sit down and watch them. And it's things like True Grit, the Coen Brothers remake that I've wanted to watch for the longest time and still never got around to it.
Oh, have you not? Okay.
No.
Yeah, you see, I've watched that, but I've never watched the original.
Open Range as well, another that I've just been waiting on having a chance to watch.
You know, one I could go back to over and over again, bit of a throwback to Evil Dead 2, really, is The Quick and the Dead.
Yeah.
Sam Raimi's movie. So good.
Gene Hackman's
nice kind of more modern slant on a Western. But yeah, most of the ones I got, you know, you can go back to like Magnificent Seven and things like that, but most of the ones we go back to tend to be Clint.
Yeah.
Oh, I did say a month or so ago that we rewatched Unforgiven as well.
Yes, you did. Yeah.
Didn't have the impact at all now for some reason. But, oh, excuse my tummy rumbling.
Do you think Nosferatu should have a VHS release? No, I don't.
No, I don't, to be honest. No, I'm quite happy with that on 4K.
Yeah, I don't think any modern movies should have a VHS release. Really, maybe the odd one or two that are really sort of focused on that era might go down well on VHS, but there won't be many. I'm thinking of things like Ty West movie like House of the Devil. That's very much 80s based. Something like that could go down well on VHS. But things like Nosferatu, I don't think it needs it, really. You got
things like Nosferatu, I think with the way 4K deals with colour depth and especially with dark movies, I think it's probably a very good way to go.
And then I suppose the way that Robert Eggers shoots his movies as well, I think The Lighthouse might have been a better fit for a VHS than Nosferatu would be. I don't know. I've not watched it yet, but
the trouble is with a lot of dark movies that you watch, you can sometimes lose things in the shadows and things like that. And I think 4K is very good for that.
Yeah.
Kind of giving you proper definition for even if things are in the darkness. And so, no, I probably wouldn't want to watch Nosferatu on VHS. You're
John
right,
Thompson.
Lynn. Hateful Eight and Django. You are right, Lynn. Yes.
Have you ever chosen a film and then realised you really like the prequel or sequel instead? Then you want to bail out early and go fetch that one. Prequel or sequel wise, I'm not sure. No.
I'll mention it for the millionth time in this live, but Evil Dead 2. I think I watch Evil Dead 2 more than I watch Evil Dead.
Yeah.
Because realistically, Evil Dead 2 is almost a remake of Evil Dead.
Yeah.
And I just think it's a little more polished and more fun.
I agree. Francis Shask, with all this hype going on and the cast for Marvel, The Avengers Doomsday coming out soon, is making me more interested to see Robert Downey Jr. portraying the role of Doctor Doom. Would be fantastic to see. Yeah, I'm going to wait and see, because when we got onto what we watched this week, we'll probably discuss Marvel a little bit more anyway. So I'll come back to that and our thoughts on that, because we went to see Thunderbolts, didn't we?
We did.
So let me carry on through these comments, then we'll get on to what we're watching. We can, discuss that. Joe McCall, is it a conundrum of choice, or are we not collecting right? Is that for the topic? We're back on topic.
Yeah, I think for a very long time I wasn't collecting right, I was collecting things that were, oh, that's cheap, I'll pick that up. Oh, I've not seen that. Yeah, I'll give it a look. Oh, I really like this director. The film probably won't be my thing, but I like the director. I like the actor. I'll put it on my shelf, and then it doesn't get watched. Which I'm much, much better at now. So I like to think mine is just conundrum of choice.
Yeah, I agree that I've not been collecting right either, as you know, if you've watched any of my videos. But I used to go through a point where I used to work, we had a FOP around the corner. And back in the day before it was owned by HMV, this is probably pre-Blu-ray. They used to have DVDs in there that were like £1 or £2 a DVD. And I used to go in I used to come out with a stack of like 20 DVDs of things that I may like to watch. And a lot of them sat sealed. A lot of them never got watched. And when I was doing the clear out of all this stuff, there was still some of that stuff sat there sealed that had just done that. So it's not really about having the choice. That was more that I wasn't collecting right. I was just grabbing anything and everything because it was on offer. And I don't know if that led to the difficulty on choosing or not, but I think it's been generally that I've not collected right. I mean, I could go through the shelves in the other room now, and I'd struggle to decide because there are a bunch of things that I've not seen in there. And then I'd start struggling again. Do I fancy watching that? Do I fancy watching this? So I think it's about both not collecting right that sort of led me to that conundrum, because there is so much crap in my collection still. So there.
Sorry, yeah, I don't know if I'm supposed to argue with you at that point or just kind of go, yeah, really? Yeah. A lot of crap in the collection. Yeah.
Jeremy Carr, coming back to the piracy, Star Wars Holiday Special was a huge piracy title by me. So many people in many towns had copies.
Does anybody, can I just point out, I'm wearing a Star Wars t-shirt at the moment. Not point that out, but point out that I am a Star Wars fan, but I'm less of a Star Wars fan now than I used to be. Did anybody actually watch the Holiday Special and enjoy it? Really?
I've never watched it.
Nobody actually in it and involved in it looked like they were enjoying it either. So I'm just wondering whether anybody.
I've never actually watched it myself. Have you watched it through?
No, I've just seen clips on YouTube, and that was enough.
Yeah, I don't know why I've never tried to watch it. I've seen options knocking about where I've been able to pick it up if I wanted to, but I never elected to have it as part of the collection. As much as a completist as I try to think I am at times, or have been, it's never been one that I added to the collection.
It's a little bit like it's a little bit like, I don't know, Hunter S. Thompson bumped into George Lucas and he went, hey, yeah, let's go and sit in a field and we'll discuss Star Wars. And they did a few tablets of something. And then George created that, really, because it looks like a weird LSD trip, quite frankly.
Yeah. Johnny Carotid, I own taped stuff on TV with my VCR, but I was too young still at that point to buy stuff. I only had a TV as I won a Sega Mega Drive, so I got a TV too to give the parents peace.
Well done for winning a Sega Mega Drive.
Sega.
Nike.
Okay.
One I'll never go with is Adidas. I'm not doing that.
No, I'm not doing that either.
No.
Ethan Schneider, I currently own the MCU movies on Blu-ray. Do you feel they're worth the upgrade to 4K? I'd say it depends how much you like the movie.
Yeah.
It's I think a couple maybe, but I don't think you need the whole collection in 4K.
I did have a lot of them, and then I got rid of them because I had Disney Plus. I've since got rid of Disney Plus. And I'm not missing not having them.
No.
Yeah.
No, that's fair. Ragnar666, these prices are insane. I wish it would have stopped at Blu-ray. I think the prices aren't really helped by the fact that a lot of things are coming out on 4K as limited edition steelbooks. So they're pumping the prices up to start with. It's, yeah, we're releasing that only as a steelbook and it's going to cost you £45. It does lead them to being insane. It's not just a slight premium, it's massive premium.
Well, you sent me a thing this week, didn't you? Which was what we talked about, I think, last week and the week before, where we were saying about companies going, oh, yeah, we've sold out. Oh, look, guys, we've just found another box. Is it Xavi again or something? Back in stock now. Limited numbers.
Yeah, Xavi did that the other day with something. I forgot what it might have been 28 days later. But I noticed that Vice Press were releasing a bunch more of the They Live limited edition white cassette tape things again. So I don't know if they held back stock for any reason, but they said the last of our stock is being released on. So they didn't say they found any.
They're only limited because they say they're limited until they decide otherwise.
Yeah.
Seems to be the way.
I mean, at least Vice Press, they didn't say, we found in our warehouse this extra stock. They just said, we're releasing more stock on. So I assume it's just stock that held off in case of damages, but yeah. There we go. Woody. Ethan, the MCU movies are only once watched for me, except Logan and Guardians of the Galaxy and Deadpool. There we go. Johnny Carrot gave up on Star Wars when I saw Jar Jar. I think a lot of our age
gonna die. Yes, they are. I remember the build up to that where he was Lucas was on about Jar Jar, and he was going, "Yeah, he's an amazing comedy character. I think everybody's gonna love him." My God, did he get that wrong? Everybody went after Jar Jar.
Oh yeah, just I don't know what. I should have read it. There was an interview with Ahmed Best about it quite recently, but I think it didn't destroy his career, but I think it knocked him completely off to the side. I think it was when Mandalorian season 3 came out because he had a little part in that.
Yeah, well, he cropped up as a Jedi in another film, or was it just
Mandalorian? It was in Mandalorian, yeah.
Right, okay.
It was flicking back to Order 66, and I believe it was a flashback and him saving Grogu or putting Grogu on his way into the little pod where a prequel to the Mandalorian as such, just doing flashback form.
I mean, the poor guy, he had nothing to do with that character whatsoever. It was just, do you want to play this character in Star Wars? Yes, I do. Everybody piles on Ahmed Best. It just Lucas just misjudged it.
Oh, Jake Lloyd didn't come out lightly either.
No, that's true. Yeah, but he wasn't a very good actor. I'm sorry, he really wasn't. He wasn't a good choice for it. He was quite a weak link in that first movie.
Absolute child basher.
What?
Jeremy Carr, MCU movies. Or other Marvel movies, 2015 looked good on 4K. Everything from 2015 to today barely looks any different picture-wise. However, sound improvement is noticeable on both ends. I just, I don't think everything needs to be 4K. I think you've got to really, really like a movie to have it or need it in 4K. And to be paying the premium on certain Marvel movies that, let's face it, they're just not really going to get watched that often again anymore. It just doesn't seem worth it. I'd go with the Blu-ray. I'll try not to name Marvel movies, but
no, but Blu-ray does tick most boxes realistically. It's it was a huge step up from DVD, and like we've said before, you can argue a lot of 4K titles aren't that huge a step up from Blu-ray. There's not that massive leap like there was previously. So I think Blu-ray covers, ticks most boxes, covers most bases.
Yeah. John Allison, after Endgame, I felt the MCU was complete. I have no urge to watch anything Marvel related since. That's you, man.
It's like you're taking the words right out of my mouth.
Yeah.
Marvel ended with Endgame. End of story.
Fair.
End.
I think I'm not going to get into Marvel. I'm going to skip that for a minute. John Thompson, the Sylvester Stallone version of Judge Dredd was pants, but the Carl Urban version rocked. Can't wait for Rogue Trooper release. There we go. Nicholas Dickens is with us as well. Good evening, Nicholas. Ahmed was a Jedi in The Mandalorian. Sadly, he and Jake Lloyd got so much hate. They were good, I felt. I don't think they would deserve the hate that they got.
No, I think
excessive.
Ahmed Best threw everything he could at that character. To be honest, it just didn't work. It was just misjudged from the word go, wasn't it? But no, there's no excuse for Jake Lloyd. That was just poor casting.
Francis Shask, I got to give a huge 100 salute to George Lucas for creating Star Wars. favourite and my two favourite films are Return of the Jedi and Revenge of the Sith, both applause.
Yeah.
There we go. I think, it created an awesome universe, and I love that it's left something that I can sit and watch with my kids still, something that I enjoyed as a kid. And, it might not all be for me, but it's something that I can enjoy with them. And they're still part of what I loved back when I was a kid as well. And that's nice. Jeremy Carr, this stream needs 4K, 60 frames per second.
No, it doesn't.
Jeremy, I'll tell you what, we can get there though, Glenn. We can get it up to 4K on 60 frames per second. Well, I don't know if it is that, but we can get it up to 4K if we're paid for the service. And the only way to pay for a service is if I earn enough from YouTube. So any super chats and anything like that would go back towards the channel and let me upgrade the streaming platform. I think it works out like 40 quid a month or something like that to upgrade it. So at the moment, I'm a little resistant because I'm just not earning enough.
Yes. Yeah, and then I'd need a lot of work doing before that happened as well. Like a bulldog clip at the back just to pull everything back.
Yes. Ragnar666. George stole all those ideas from books and he went woke. It literally started the Star Wars franchise in the middle of the story. I think George Lucas did take a lot of inspiration from quite a few books. There's a couple of Akira Kurosawa films that he took from, and John Carter was a particular one. And I remember going to the cinema to see John Carter when that came out, and everyone was talking about what a rip-off it was of Star Wars.
Yeah,
and
it's completely unaware that it just predated Star Wars by a mile. He was into all this Saturday morning TV serial stuff, wasn't he? Like Flash Gordon with Buster Crabbe and all that kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, but he's friends with Francis Ford Coppola, and I've said before, I remember Francis Ford Coppola saying, "Steal from the best."
Yeah.
That's kind of his motto of filmmaking.
Steal like an artist. Michael Williams, what's the one title in your collection that you would grab if your house was burning down? Whether that's limited edition that's now out of print or simply the best release of your favourite film?
Debbie Does Dallas.
There we go. I don't think I could pick just one. I'd just let it all burn and try and start from scratch. I'm not prioritising.
I would probably prioritise Lynn and my dogs rather than going, help, and I go, I can't. Anora's on the shelf. So, yeah. I don't know. I couldn't pick one film.
No, I don't think I could pick one film. No, it'd have to be, I've just got to leave it because I can't pick just one. But anyway, we've got a bunch more comments, but I'm going to just jump into another little thing here. Already thinking about next week. Sorry to bring this up now, but next week's topic, we're going to do a little something. So do you want to feature on the next live stream? And that's not to be here with myself and Glenn, but we're going to be discussing some of our favourite discs or favourite releases, which kind of ties in.
Jack, they could come and sit in this yellow chair.
Could do. So we want to discuss some of our favourite discs and favourite releases. And we thought it would be nice is if we invited you to perhaps pick yours and do us a short video, send the video across into our Facebook group or onto my Instagram so I can save it, and then we can run the video with your choices as we're doing the live stream and show everyone worldwide that's watching. And so if you want to be part of that, if you want to let us know your favourite pick, if your house was burning down, which one would you pick out and why? And we can do that as part of next week. So me and Glenn will pick probably 5 of our favourite discs, give our reasonings and say why they're our favourite discs. I say discs, not movies. And we'll go from there. So if you want to be part of that, then just tap us up with a short video on the Facebook group or on my Instagram, send that across, and we'll run that next week as well. All I need is a few seconds saying, I like this release because of whatever reasons. If it's the movie, if it's the picture, if it's the extras, if it's the box, just give us a little bit of something, and then we'll bang you onto the live stream and discuss along with our favourites as well.
And then everybody in the comments can rip you to shreds.
Yes.
Ha ha! Look at that idiot! Oh my god! That idiot. Look, I mean, look at this guy. He's got a yellow chair. Oh, hang on a minute. Oh,
well, if anyone is interested in doing that and being part of it, if you just drop a comment, say interested, then I've got an idea of numbers, and I can start putting something together so that you're just not just hearing my and Glenn's picks. If that makes sense. Does that make sense?
Would you like to highlight Michael Williams at this point? Because it is.
Yes, I will. Michael, you have a Facebook group. We do. We're not particularly active on there, but we're knock around on there. To be honest.
I heard that in the Scooby-Doo voice as well. You have a Facebook group?
Yes. Stay in touch outside the live streams through Square-Eyed Geeks on Facebook. So if you tap us up on there, if you want to send a video across, then dump it across, not in the comments, just inboxes. I can pick the videos up and add them on there. Just, let me know if you're interested, if we're going to follow this path, if you want part of it.
Yeah.
And Lynn you can film Lynn.
Yeah. Well, Lynn will just hold up a load of Clint Eastwood films. No, she does have a diverse, I'll say this because I've got to go through there in a bit. Very diverse taste in films. A very amazing, diverse taste in films. Lynn, yes. No, but I think it'd be, you guys always, you come alive when we start asking you things about, what you love, and it'd be nice to kind of properly get you involved in it. So do it. Do a little thing, a little video.
I'm not expecting everyone will want their face on there. So, I mean, if you wanted to just film the disc, the product, and then do a little voiceover, then we'll have your voice instead. But it'd be nice to see your faces. All of you, some of you, most of you. John Thompson, if the Marvel and DC Comics franchise has been milked to produce movies, will Rebellion Publishing characters in the UK get a look in? They just released a video game called Atomfall set in the UK.
Yeah.
I've no idea. No idea on that one. Any clue, Glenn?
Well, no, I had no idea, but I was rereading the question to try and make out what I was reading.
There we go.
Yeah. The Marvel and DC Comics franchise have been milked to produce movies. Will Rebellion Publishing characters in the UK get a look in? Just release a video game. I think there's room for. There's room for all sorts, isn't there? Because there was such a massive kind of. When it was Hunger Games, what was the other thing that had the Scorch Trials or whatever? What was that one?
Maze Runner series.
Maze Runner and stuff like that. There's room for all sorts. Some will hit and some won't. It's as simple as that. But I think we could do with something new, couldn't we, really?
Yeah, definitely. Some new blood. Things like...
Unless it's Rebel Moon, and then we don't need it.
Things like The Boys, though, that's sort of proved that you can pull things from other...
Yeah.
On there, but anyway, I'm gonna move us on a little bit as well. So we'll get to... There we go. What did we watch? We went to the cinema, didn't we, Glenn?
We did.
We've been floating around Marvel for most of this live stream, and we went to see Thunderbolts. Yeah. And it's been getting pretty solid feedback from a lot of people, hasn't it? I think I saw it. One of the best films since Endgame. I think I read someone publish.
The shot in the arm that the MCU needed. It's now back on track, and we look forward to the future and all of this stuff.
Yeah.
No, it was just even. I mean, they should have called it Thunderpew, to be honest, because Florence was front and center for most of it, and as great as an actress as she is, she was given nothing decent to work with whatsoever.
Yeah,
it was just. We both came out and both described it as it would have been a mediocre Disney Plus TV series at best.
Yeah. One thing that was sort of quite shocking for both of us, really. The movie ended, and we're sitting through the credits, and the mid-credits thing came up, and would turn to each other and it's like, oh, was there an after credits one? Yeah, it's after credits one. Was he bothered about staying and watching the after credit sequence? Like, no, neither of us. Neither of us sat through the credits to watch the post credits scene. And it was meant to be one of the biggest ones that they've done, wasn't it, as well, that the Russo brothers directed. Apparently, no, didn't stick around for that because, yeah, it was just, for me, to echo what Glenn said, it felt like a Disney Plus TV show. It felt very segmented in a TV show kind of way as well. And it made me wonder if it was originally intended to be a Disney Plus show. And they just, I was going to say stretched it out to be a movie, but condensed it down to be a movie. I don't know. There just didn't seem to be a lot there. There was, again, the bad guy issue. They've got no real bad guy in there.
No decent villain for sure. It was
certain plot threads though, they just tipped on the head. Anyway, just like forgot about it. It's like, oh, we need that character to be there now. So let's forget this path he was on. Let's put him on a different path again now. And David Harbour was grating on me for a bit of it as well. Sometimes it was a good comic relief, but other times it was just downright annoying.
Yeah, but I felt sorry for him that he was there just for the comic relief. He kind of, every scene he was in, he was just there to attempt to make you to laugh. He was just a bit of a clown in it, to be honest.
Yeah.
The issue is, and somebody said it earlier, and I say it's something I've banged on about before, the Marvel Universe ended with Endgame for me. It ended all of, such good character building and great characters that you actually cared about. And the story you cared, they just haven't got those characters now.
No.
And to make that bunch the new Avengers, don't care. What's his name? Anthony Mackie. He's not Captain America. He's just not. He's not going to be. It's not the same. None of it's the same at all. No. And I do think the whole Avengers Doomsday thing, they're flailing around. They've looked at kind of what they've done with Deadpool and Wolverine, and everybody's gone, oh yeah, everybody went nuts for Blade and Gambit and all of the, bringing all these kind of people back on this nostalgia trip. That's what we need to do with Doomsday, because you've obviously got James Marsden coming back as Cyclops and Thingy as Nightcrawler and all that kind of stuff. Bringing them in. And it's a nostalgia trip, but I think they're padding it out with those kind of people to garner interest, to get people in to see those again, because their current lot of characters just are not strong enough. There's nobody walking around with a David Harbour t-shirt on, or buying a what's his name, Wyatt Russell. What's his character called?
John Walker.
No, some agent.
Yeah.
Nobody's got him on a keyring. Nobody's buying him as a figure because they're just not strong enough characters at all.
No.
Rewind 15 years to where you've got Iron Man and Captain America, and people are wearing t-shirts, they've got posters and all this kind of stuff. He's just not the same at all.
There we go. US agent.
Jeremy
and Nicholas jumped in there for you.
As well. Yeah.
Jeremy did mention, to be fair, Falcon did become Captain America in the comics. Yeah, he did. I'll say on that, I'm fine with Falcon becoming Captain America. I just don't think Anthony Mackie has got the chops to be a good, solid character as such. He doesn't have the presence that a lot of them have had.
I think also Chris Evans was so beloved as that character. It's not necessarily about the actor. I think it's, you need to let that character kind of die for a bit before it's kind of become just replaced.
Nicholas says, I have his figure, but I love the era of Marvel from 1988 onwards. Darren G, Marvel films have gone massively downhill. Slipknot fan, if someone had never seen the Thing movies, would you recommend to watch them chronologically? Sorry, off subject. Like 2011, The Thing first because it's set in the Norwegian base, then watch the 1982 Thing. On that, off of Captain America, I wouldn't go for the remake first, prequel first. I would still go for the original first on that one. I think you'd spoil a lot of what made the original so great.
So magic. Yeah.
Yeah, they still borrowed a lot from the story of I'm lost in sequels and prequels and things like that, but from the original, they borrowed a lot of story elements from the original for the remake prequel. So yeah, I'd have gone with that first, just not to spoil the enjoyment of watching the original again, really. Even though chronologically the prequel should come first, I wouldn't ever view it at first.
No.
I don't think the prequel was that bad. I don't think it was great. I think there was a lot of disappointment for me because they didn't use practical creature effects that they promised they were going to at one point. So it was kind of jarring that they used CGI a lot. Anyway, back to this Marvel nonsense. Francis Shask. Well, they just confirmed that yes, the original Captain America, Steve Rogers, is returning for his role in Avengers Doomsday, but evil Captain America. So we've got evil Captain America and also Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom. I'm going to be holding out judgment till I see a bit on this, I think.
Yeah. And I think at the minute, other than who has been confirmed on the actual, where they did the long scroll along all of the directors' chairs with everybody's names on.
Yeah.
They're supposed to be doing that again next week, aren't they, with a new lot of people?
Apparently, but I tell you what, I'm not bothered. I'm not bothered about even having a look at the minute. I'll just wait it out until there's a trailer or something, or some news or something like that.
Well, when we were sat there the other night, we were starting to guess at what the trailers would be before it, and I was saying like Mission Impossible and maybe Ballerina. I thought Superman, but would they do Superman because it's DC rather than Marvel? But they did do Superman.
Yeah.
And then the trailer came on, and I thought, I completely forgot about that, and that was Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
I'm not inspired by it at all. I've not got an issue with Pedro Pascal, but I just think he's in absolutely everything. I sent you a little comic sketch thing, didn't I, the other day?
You did, yeah.
Some woman was in a hospital having a scan, and on the screen there was Pedro Pascal, and the nurse said, "Oh, don't worry, he's in everything." And it's true. I'm just a little bit bored of seeing his face, to be honest.
Yeah. AJ Pink, Pedro Pascal is a bore, in my opinion. Fair. We've got Larry Quartowitz with us as well. Good evening, Larry. Hope you're well. We're just going through what we watched this week, and we've been talking a lot about Thunderbolts and what a disappointment it is, but now we're going to move on. Glenn, did you watch anything else this week?
I have. And what was it, Phil? It always comes to this point, I can't remember what I've watched.
Well, if you're thinking about it, I can go on with what I watched.
Yeah, do it.
I watched Anora.
You did finally, yes.
I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really good, really well acted, and it was funny. I thought it was really funny. There's some sequences that I would go back and watch again tonight. I only watched it a couple of days ago, and there's a big section in the middle there in the house. Yeah, I'd go back and watch that tonight because I thought that was hilarious. But yeah, I said to you how I forgot his name. There's a Russian actor in there, and I thought he'd delivered a great performance. Not necessarily with dialogue, but you could sort of read what he was thinking throughout. And yeah, all the actors were superb. And it kind of feeling that about a film and rating the actors on what they were able to deliver non-verbally and get the thoughts and follow the story without it being over-explained to you, to then the next movie that I watched, and which was a complete polar opposite thing. So do you want me to move off of Anora now, or?
No. I mean, off the back of exactly, Lynn. Hallelujah, Philip. No, off the back of Anora, we went on to a few Sean Baker movies, just to see what he was all about and what have you. And they're all of a similar vein.
Yeah.
Character-driven, funny, a little bit tragic. He's a very, very interesting writer-director, I think.
I'll tell you what, I'm glad I picked up the Criterion because as a director, he has got my interest enough. I'm now interested to go and look at the making of documentary and things like that to see how it filmed. Some of it did feel a little bit documentary style, a fly on the wall type thing. And in a similar way to how Peter Berg films, with the camera movements and things like that, it feels more like a documentary, more like you're there. And when you've got the solid actors delivering it feels really good. So I'm quite interested to see. I think he probably had limitations on his equipment because some of the wide angle lenses that it was using, you could see it had the slight warping of the image at the edge. So I don't know if that was intentional or if it was just the limitations of budget. So I'd like to know a bit more about how it got made. So I'm going to check those out.
Yes. Yeah. I was glad you watched it and enjoyed it because I thought it was great.
I will check out some of his other movies as well, I think, when I get a chance. But yeah, leading on from that, I suppose from the film where you didn't need everything laying out for you, we watched last night Robert Rodriguez movie, Hypnotic. Nah.
Well, again, it was another one that looked awful, quite frankly. But because it's got Rodriguez's name connected to it, that's why you went in. And
it was a decent, short runtime. But this was a movie where everything's explained to you at length. It's all hand-holding all the way through. And it was just everything being beaten around the face. I don't know why everything needed such heavy explanation. Just tell the story that you're going for. Let us piece it together as best we can. But it was so heavy in its lore and everything that, this happened, and then this happened, and then this happens because of this, and then this is that, the all exposition. And it needed something. But there's no strong Rodriguez style that I could pull out from it either. Really, it was it was just.
Are you still going to buy it and put it in your Robert Rodriguez collection?
It's in my Robert Rodriguez collection already. I've got the bootleg.
Right, are you getting rid of it then?
No, it's in my Robert Rodriguez collection.
Fool, absolute fool.
Well, yeah, and that's what I watched this week. I finished up Squid Games as well, and I've not caught up on Last of Us. I'm way behind on that, and I didn't watch much else. Have you remembered what you watched this week?
No, we've mainly watched a lot of TV stuff. We did, I think we'd started it and then we did go back to it, which was Drop, which was my second viewing of it, which it's harmless enough. It's fluff. It's, it's not great. It's an entertaining enough little 90-minute thing just to kind of whip through, but forgettable. We can drop it. Let's put it that way. Yeah. But no, other than that, just TV stuff. Like I say, we've been... unless Lynn can remember if we've watched a film, but I don't think we have. Yeah, because it was the week before that I watched Death of a Unicorn and really slated that. Yeah, that was really poor. Really poor. So, no, I think that's probably it.
Fair. Just flicking.
Comments or next topic?
Yeah, I'm just jumping back to the comments. Larry Quartowitz is excited to see how they use Sentry in the Avengers. I'm not. I wasn't bothered by his character at all. I didn't think he was particularly interesting, which is quite bad because he had the most to go at with the abuse and depression aspect, but I don't think it did very well.
There's two sides to that argument where you can go, it's really interesting that they use the mental illness, depression kind of side of things in a superhero movie. What a different slant. When actually, you can also look at it, what the hell was that doing in there? It should be nowhere near a superhero movie. It honestly felt like it was just another thing where they were kind of like, let's throw that in there and it will give it some depth, but it didn't because it was handled so badly. One of the biggest things with Thunderbolts was... yes, we did watch the UFC today, Lynn. So badly directed, Thunderbolts. You watch the little making of thing where Florence Pugh jumps off the building at the start. The making of has got some amazing shots in there, filmed by a B crew that is just there to do the behind the scenes stuff. In the actual film, you have got no understanding of how high up that building is or anything. They went to all that trouble with that rig and her on wires to jump off this thing, and there isn't a single aerial shot showing that she's so high up or anything like that. They could have filmed it in a studio and saved an absolute fortune. Because then the next cut, it just cuts to a stunt woman opening a parachute as she's falling.
Yeah.
It was just... I know he was... what did he direct? Was it... It was one of the Marvel TV shows, wasn't it?
Okay.
And now they've thrown his name around for like an X-Men movie or something, haven't they?
Yes, they did throw his name around for that, and I can't...
Rubbish. I don't know what they're playing at.
Yeah, it's not... it didn't seem strong enough director. He did lots of Selena Gomez music videos, Star Wars Skeleton Crew episode, TV show called Beef. Yeah, lots of music videos and things like that.
I thought he'd done something else, or am I thinking of Matt Shackman, that was the Marvel director? I felt like he'd done like Agatha All Along or something along those lines.
I can't remember. I'm not flicking through his thing to have a look either. I'm over this Thunderbolt conversation.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, moving on. Dave Simon. To be fair to Pedro Pascal, sometimes actors will work on multiple projects over a number of years and the studios will release them all at once to bank on their popularity.
Yeah, I just don't know why he's getting cast in everything at the minute.
No.
There's 1,000,001 other actors out there that are better than he is.
John Thompson, Slade in Flame. A great watch. A new DVD and Blu-ray release is out on the 19th.
Okay.
Not heard of that one. Might have to note that down. AJ Pink rewatched Gone Girl this week. Forgot how good it is.
It really is.
I think I was talking about Fincher movies with someone on the YouTube page earlier, just saying how few of his releases have had good, solid releases. I think he's sort of a director that's somehow got a little bit forgotten or just not popular with enough people, even though we rate him highly.
Yeah, but I think it's... Has he done anything recently that's kind of blown our socks off?
Not recently, no. But you know, why have we not got a decent edition of Fight Club? Why has it taken so long for Panic Room and Seven?
Unless you want the biscuit tin. You can go out and buy the biscuit tin straight away.
I mean, have all the extras for Panic Room been transferred across to the new 4K edition, or are they still just sat wallowing on DVD? I've not looked.
I feel like I did look, and I feel like they have come across, but I could be wrong. But yeah, when people go on about Gone Girl, they'll kind of mention the film itself, but they don't ever mention like Rosamund Pike, who is just so good in it.
Yeah.
You know, just completely flips that when she... I'm not going to ruin it, but that scene with Doogie Howser, MD, it's a great scene. She's psychotic in it. She's amazing. She's very good.
Yeah. And on that note... I'm not sure if I know the answer to this. Have you made any pickups this week, Mr. Glenn?
Yes.
Oh, did I know about this?
You do.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah, I have shown you.
Can't be that interested or I'd have remembered.
Well, there's a couple that I think I ordered a few weeks ago, but they hadn't arrived yet. And I'm not sure whether I mentioned it, which was... I definitely mentioned ordering that, but that finally arrived because that was US import. So yeah. I'm quite keen to get to that. I also imported the Italian release of what I think is one of the best documentaries, film documentaries, ever, 7852.
Yeah.
Can't remember why I went with the Italian one. Well, I think it was cheaper, for sure. That was one thing. It's got a nice little slipcase as well. Look.
Yeah.
And it's got all the extras on. And there was another release that didn't have the extras, but...
And what does the 7852 relate to?
It's the amount of... It's the edits. It's the scenes and cuts within the shower scene in Hitchcock Psycho.
Yeah.
Sorry. Should I have done that? It's a very, very good documentary. And there's lots and lots of people that we love get interviewed, Guillermo and Eli Roth and stuff.
Yeah.
And just talking about it and how influential it was and how amazing it is.
Is Gus Van Sant interviewed for it?
Oh, I don't know, you know.
That would have been an interesting interview for it.
Yeah, Gus Van Sant going, yeah, I shouldn't have touched it at all.
Yeah.
I was an idiot for remaking Psycho. What the hell was I thinking? Why did I want to do it in colour? Why did I hire Vince Vaughn? All of these things, really. I got my copy of Anora through.
Oh, it's still sealed. What are you playing at?
Well, I've already watched it, haven't I? Unlike you, behind the times. And then, you do know I received this. Ordered it quite a while ago. Finally came through. 4K of What Lies Beneath. Very excited by, Uncovering What Lies Beneath. Feature-length, a retrospective documentary, including brand new interviews with Robert Zemeckis and writers and various different things. As soon as it says feature-length documentary, I'm a very happy boy.
Yeah.
Love What Lies Beneath. Amazing film.
You'll have to
and
let
then
me know.
Spend some of my CEX voucher, which you do know about.
Yes.
Yes.
You overpaid for that, man.
Did overpay for it because it'll plummet. But because my collecting is changing, I'm actually struggling to get rid of my CEX vouchers. Struggling to find things to spend it on. But the Penguin I did want and I did love.
So it's that voucher that spends so much easier than actual cash.
The thing is with the Penguin as well, there's so much talk at the minute of, is Matt Reeves proceeding with Batman 2? And, James Gunn has said yes, but I don't think James Gunn wants him to, really. I think obviously when Gunn took on DC, you had Todd Phillips' Joker and Matt Reeves' Batman ongoing. And I think he'd have quite happily pulled the plug on both of them straight away so he could concentrate on what he was doing. Yeah. And now the Joker's out of the way. He's just got Batman lingering. So I think he'd be quite happy if it didn't happen, to be honest. But hey-ho.
That's fair. Personally, I don't care.
I know
if it carries on or not. I wasn't the biggest fan of the Batman. I enjoyed it, but I don't care if they try rebooting it again.
Well, I don't think it's a case of rebooting it. I think it's, him having his Batman in the DCU for Brave and the Bold and it not clashing with another Batman, isn't it?
Yeah. Larry Quatwitz, my friend and I just realised that Mission Impossible is trying to use both meanings of reckoning, with Dead Reckoning, a navigational term, and Final Reckoning, a comeuppance, smart but convoluted. I'm not sure if it was intentional by them, do you think, at the first stage? But
no, because it was originally Dead Reckoning Part 1. Yeah. And then obviously they've just scrapped that completely and gone with Dead Reckoning. Final Reckoning, sorry. And you do get the idea from the trailer that it is Tom's last outing, but we will wait and see.
Nicholas Dickens, no new releases for me this week, but a couple of action figures. What did you get, Nicholas? What did you get?
What did you get?
Michael Williams introduced the missus to Leon, the professional, last night, but she fell asleep. And Tombstone today, which was the first time watch. Can highly recommend the 4K.
Yeah.
Leon the Professional is great. That's a repeat viewer.
Yeah.
And I like the extended cut as well. I know a lot of people aren't a fan because of the relationship and how Matilda is a little more forward with things. There's a lot of questionable things in there that people don't like the extended cut for. But I think it's a great movie. So there. AJ Pink can't wait for Mission Impossible, and also has no pickups for me this week, but sold 15 films from the collection.
Well done, you.
Films. I got stuff. Well, I didn't get much stuff. I just got books. I didn't get any actual discs or anything. But there was an offer on a store on eBay, so I got a book that highlighted for me as a decent one because of Midnight Library. But then I've been looking for Stephen King books for a decent one to start with as well. And I know, Glenn, you very kindly lent me If It Bleeds for a couple of
No, I've given you that. I have another copy.
Thank you, sir.
That is yours.
I have a copy of If It Bleeds. Thanks to Glenn. Thank you very much, Glenn.
You do.
But I also got one that got recommended to me for quite a bit called Billy Summers. And part of the offer, I was checking the condition of the books, and this one said, "Oh, very good condition, very good condition." And it came through. Look at the state of that.
That's really good condition. What's wrong with you?
There's nothing left of that hardcover on it. And I mean, I know we're physical media collectors. We can get quite picky with the state of the slipcovers or boxes and things like that. But I didn't think I'd be that fussy about a book, because this is still entirely readable. But Jesus, the seller listed it as very good condition. But yeah,
he lied.
Yeah, that will be going. I think that one is going to go to the local lending library thing, and yeah, they're sending another copy through anyway, because they did in fact mark it up as very good condition, which it wasn't.
No.
So yeah, so that's all I bought. I didn't bother with any physical discs, I don't think, because that's the only one I watched this week was Anora, which was through the week before, I think.
It was. You'd received it on the Saturday because you showed it off on last week's live.
Yeah. Anyway, back to comments. Jeremy Carr. I think they should remake bad films into good ones. Sidebar, I want Catalina Caper remade so badly. It's hilarious as a bad film, but so much potential to be a potential heist film. Never heard of that one, have you?
I have not. Catalina
What
Caper.
Is it, Jeremy? What is it?
Tell us more, Jeremy Carr.
Yeah, so I've not got a lot more to cover on here. Have you got anything that you want to discuss or bring up, or has anyone got any questions for us in the chat?
Yeah, go for questions. What have we? What's at the cinema this week? What's
Final Destination Bloodlines? Does
that open this week, or is it already out?
I'm not sure. They had a screening the other night because they showed back to.
Double bill.
Yeah. They showed back to back the first Final Destination and the new one, Bloodlines.
I get the feeling there's quite a few throwbacks, isn't there? Because it's.
I can't understand why they'd show the first one with it. If not, but the following week, I think, is it Mission Impossible? The following week. I know it's not long away.
Yeah, there's not really much this week, unless I wanted to go and see The Accountant 2, which I'm not really fussed about, Until Dawn, which has been mentioned this evening.
Yeah.
The Surfer with Nicolas Cage. Final Destination Bloodlines opens on Wednesday.
No, it was...
Mission Impossible. Oh, does it open then, or is that just a single showing?
I think it's Thursday, the 20th of May, Mission Impossible, so...
No, it's Monday, the 19th of May.
Oh.
Literally opens on a Monday. It's got one showing on the Monday, one showing on the Tuesday. And then officially from the Wednesday, it goes chaotic.
Right.
With many, many showings. So Wednesday 21st must be the official, but like I say, there's 7 o'clock showings Monday and the Tuesday. If you fancy one of them, Philip. It's in the ice.
I might be going with the wife. I've got to check that first.
Having said that, yeah, I think Lynn wants to go.
Yeah.
28 days later, he's getting a re-release. Lilo and Stitch. Yeah, no.
I might go see that.
Legends, which you quite fancy, but I did send you.
I don't think I'm going to see it at the cinema.
I sent you a review the other day, didn't I?
Yeah. Anyway, back to comments. We've got Ethan Schneider commenting, thoughts on collecting multiple editions of the same movie. I think that very much depends. Now, as I look at it, it very much depends on the extras. There's absolutely zero need for the movie to have the same movie. But if it's a movie you love, and if one disc has features that another one doesn't, that you want to keep hold of, then yeah, I think that's the only time for the same movie. If it comes to packaging, if it's the same disc in different packaging, I wouldn't do it. It's a complete waste of time. Don't see the packaging. All we see is the spines on our shelves, really, isn't it? So
I think when people go crazy and buy lots of different copies of the same film and stuff, it's completely pointless, but it's not doing anyone any harm. So if you love it and you want to do it, do it. Yeah.
Back to the Catalina Caper from Jeremy. It's a 60s heist film with a lot of camp comedy, teen love, parents that are a drag, elites being elites and stealing art.
Okay, then.
That sounds awful.
Yeah, I read that as parents that are in drag as well, which...
John Allison, what's the split in physical versus streaming for you guys? I'm trying to do more physicals, but then I see a deal on Apple TV. Physicals my largest of the collections, but I think I've got a good sort of 300 or 400 digital movies that are sat on Apple TV, because these offers, when they're coming up at $1.99 and $2.99, it's just hard to resist them at times. A lot are duplicated from between having them physical and having them on digital, but that's been a lot to do with when I've worked away for long periods of time. But yeah, I think if it's a movie I truly care about, I always want the physical, but digital's there for just any other nonsense and duplication, really. How about you, Glenn?
Any other nonsense? I would say I bet I've not got any more than 40, 45, something like that, films on Apple, on digital.
I think the thing was, from way back in the UK, they did was it called Ultraviolet, when you could register your code, you got a free digital copy with your
digital code, yeah.
And there's a good chunk of my collection that are from that, because I always registered the digital copy, which I don't think you did.
No, originally I used to buy something new physical media wise, and then I would sell the digital copy on eBay immediately and kind of make some of my money back from what I'd paid out. And yes, in hindsight, it would have been more sensible to load it up, but I just wasn't in that digital kind of mindset at that point.
No, that's fair. That's fair. I split it anyway. I'm not too bothered between digital and physical, but unless it's a film that I really like, then I want it physically.
Yeah, because you want to own it and know it's yours.
Slipknot fan, have you guys heard of a Japanese horror movie called Sweet Home from '89? Apparently the video game adaptation on the Nintendo Famicom or Super Nintendo was the inspiration for the Resident Evil games.
It's really random that you put that, because I read an article on Twitter earlier in the week about it.
Did you?
I did. I'm trying to think why it popped up. But yeah, I did read about it. I hadn't heard of it before then, if I'm honest. But yeah, randomly this week I saw it.
I've not heard of it, but yeah. Jeremy Carr, what bad film would you like remade into a good one? Howard the Duck.
Yeah, Trances. A bad film that you'd like remade into a good one. Thunderbolts. Actually, I don't care. I don't care enough about the characters and what have you, to be honest, whether they remade it or not.
No.
Could not give a monkeys.
I'd like to see Spawn. I thought that was terrible. I'd like to see what they could do with that character, because I know a lot of people love it and I just couldn't see it from the movie because I've never read the comics or anything.
I can't wait for people to go into a frenzy when it comes to that coming out.
Yeah, I was looking around on the shelves for any bad movies that I'd want turning into good ones, but I don't have bad movies on my shelves.
You don't have bad movies. You only have great movies on your shelf. Yeah.
Friden Productions. I'm currently sorting through my film collection. I'm replacing the big cases with slim ones. Do you have any tips if you're starting to run out of space?
Well, you've gone the little folder route, haven't you? Slide in the...
I did for a few, yeah, but I've sort of given up on that and I've started selling some instead. If I don't care enough for the movie, if I don't see any value in keeping hold of it for the extras or any sort of interesting points, then I've just been getting rid of the stuff now. So I'd start considering what you've actually got and if you actually need to keep hold of it for whatever reason, whether it be research or extras or the film. Do you really always need to keep it? But yeah, I've also gone for a folder with some sleeves in them, but I sort of gave up on that and started clearing out a bit more.
I've contemplated those multi-Amore things where you can get like 6 films in the one Amore case and condensing down. I think at the time I was thinking like the Kevin Smith collection or whatever, kind of putting all them in. But I actually think other than Clerks, Mallrats, Chasing Amy, I think the rest of my Kevin Smith stuff can go anyway.
You're on the New Jersey trilogy and the rest can go.
They were peak Kevin, and the rest are just pants, dare I say.
Yeah.
Dare I say the word pants? I think I did say the word pants.
Jerry Carmel wants to see Lilo and Stitch. I don't get it. Came way out after a time. Heck, even after my time. Yet she likes it. Don't leave it to it, Jeremy. Take your mum to see Lilo and Stitch.
Yeah, it's Mother's Day today, Jeremy. What's wrong with you? Oh, my God. The sacrifices she's made for you. Yeah,
Rare Books, if you can find books for cheap in a charity shop for classic stories, so long as it's readable, it's better than online shopping. If you like the book, you could upgrade to hardback. Yeah.
You see, if I'm honest, I've got a lot of hardback, but my idea, I mean, you can see down there, look, that all of that's all Stephen King, and Stephen King goes that way somewhere and stuff as well. I like getting the hardback, but they're not as practical to read as a nice paperback.
No.
I like finding an old paperback somewhere. That's more me than upgrading to a hardback.
Fair enough. Big Jace, did you see I mentioned your Easter egg? I didn't, Big Jace. Say it again. I
can't even read it because it's too small on my screen.
Yeah.
Embiggen yourself, Philip. Embiggen yourself.
There we go.
Smile. Oh, okay.
Yeah, you know, it was an easy one. Michael Williams, what's been your favourite release so far, and what you're most looking forward to getting from recent announcements? I don't know. I'd like to say Anora has been my favourite physical release I've had in the last few months, but I've not had time to dig through the extras, so I wouldn't say it's my favourite release. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm excited about a What Lies Beneath rewatch and going through the extras on that. That's for sure. Because I mean, we never got a Blu-ray over here. We only ever had DVD, so it's going to be quite a different experience watching it on 4K. Yeah, plenty of extras on the Anora disc, isn't there?
Yeah, there is some quite good extras on that one. It's got a second Blu-ray disc with all the extras on. But I know I mentioned to you the other day, Glenn, that I'm actually quite looking forward to getting the Friday the 13th movies through from Arrow. I'm looking forward to watching Jason X again. And I think you mentioned Jason Goes to Hell, that you're interested in a rewatch soon. So not saying they'll be the best releases or it's the best film, but looking forward to a revisit.
It was because obviously Arrow did their little coming attractions thing the other day, didn't they? And there was various different bits on there. And for one moment, I went, "Oh, Creepshow," and then realised it was Creepshow 2, which has obviously had what you should. Shameful.
Slipknot fan, what good film would you like to be remade into a bad one? Ooh.
Slipknot, that's quite a random question. I like it, but it's random.
Let's go with Heat.
Yeah, well, because Michael Mann, Heat was she got sick yesterday, so cancelled Mother's Day.
This is your fault now.
Right, well, you're bringing it. Don't bring the mood down, Jeremy. Good grief. Heat was a remake anyway, wasn't it? Michael Mann had done a
LA Takedown.
Lower budget hit. What was it called?
Was it LA Takedown or was that the Sam Raimi one?
No, I think you might be right. LA Takedown. Yeah. So it was already a remake. So, good film and make it bad.
Oh, you're going silent now. I'm going to skip on to comments.
No, I'm genuinely going to. I will come back with an answer next week on that one because I really like it as a question.
Okay. Ethan Schneider, thoughts on the Nun movies? I have not watched either.
Why did my mind go to porn at that point? I don't know why.
The Conjuring universe, Nun movies.
Yeah, those ones. I've not watched either of them. I've literally watched her when she popped up in one of the Conjuring films.
But Yeah, I watched the Conjuring movies, but I've not watched the spin-offs, The Nun or Annabelle. It just felt cheap cash-ins to me, so I just never bothered with them. I don't know. I could be
not
alone.
Even the Case of La Llorona or whatever.
No, I didn't watch that either.
Oh,
it was just all like, right, it was spinning off far too much. There's too much money here. They're just cheap rush jobs, cash grabs. I just didn't bother trying.
But it wasn't, Phil. It was the Conjuring universe.
I very nearly checked out the first Nun movie because Corin Hardy directed it. Because I think he directed it after The Crow fell to pieces.
Yeah.
And when he was on to direct The Crow, I met with him a couple of times about a role, and it just sounded a really interesting director. The pack that he sent me for the vision document they'd got for The Crow was so exciting that I thought, you know what, this is a director to keep an eye on because he sounds really excitable, into it, understanding things. And I was going to watch the Nun movie, but then I didn't bother for whatever reason, and I don't know why.
Well, maybe because his film never happened. Was that when? Was it when Jason Momoa was Eric Draven?
Yeah. Rare books. I prefer having 3 discs in one Blu-ray for trilogies. That saves a ton of space.
Condenses
Big Chase got the Jaws thing back here.
Small Jaws.
Well done, Big Chase. That was an easy one. I kept it easy. Just while we're getting into the rhythm of having something knocking about that you can spot. John Allison, I swapped to a Kindle years ago. I'll tell you what, I have my Kindle. It's years and years old. It's an ancient one, but I dug it out the other day to start reading a book, and it is so handy for me because I can easily drop it in my pocket. I can easily put it in my bag. If I've got a paperback or a hardback book, I worry about damaging it. And when I'm traveling to work, when I'm traveling back from work, when I'm knocking about the house, it's just easier to have that Kindle to hand for 15 a few minutes here and there. But I do prefer a book. But yeah, the Kindle has made it so much easier. Jeremy, I'm looking forward to the Phantom on 4K.
Nope. Move on.
Jeremy, did anyone see the Jaws popcorn bucket?
Did see the Jaws popcorn bucket, yes.
Did you see the Jaws whiskey bottle and glasses? No. I forgot who was doing it, but that was quite a good-looking bottle. But anyway, Big Jace. Howard wasn't a bad film. Saw it more than once when it was at the cinema.
What does he mean? The Aviator, Howard Hughes. Can't mean Howard the Dog. Can't mean Howard the Dog. There's no way.
Big Jace, speaking of The Crow, did you guys know the stunt double for Brandon was the guy who directed the John Wick films? Well, I didn't know that.
I know he was obviously double Keanu Reeves in The Matrix, didn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, just flicking through. Jeremy, Billy Zane for president or prime minister. Yeah, Larry Quadwitz. That's awesome. So on that note, I'm going to wrap us up, sir, unless you've got anything else to add. I just wanted to perhaps remind everyone that if you did want to let us know your favourite disc and send a video across, then feature in next week's stream as we're discussing some of our favourite discs, then bang them across to the Facebook page, or I'll share on Facebook page what we're doing on there as well. And we'll feature you next week and see what discs you pick. But
Jeremy Carr, please do Howard the Duck, Trancers, Debbie Does Dallas, and the other tour of your choice.
No, he only has to pick one. We've got to do 5.
Oh, we're doing 5. He's only doing 1. Oh my god!
Yeah, if you
Howard the Duck and Trancers.
Yeah, if everyone wants to send a video,
man.
Yeah, everyone that sends a video, just send one choice. You can send 5 if you want, Jeremy. I'm not gonna show it.
We'll just edit you down, Jeremy.
Yeah. And so I think we're going to draw the live stream to an end right there. So I hope you've enjoyed it. Hope it's been semi-interesting. And I guess we'll see you next time, I think. Oh, I just got to add another comment. Real Sketchman. Follow up Phil's response to my comment at the beginning. I had nothing interesting to say during this whole stream. Maybe next time.
You know what? We didn't have anything interesting to say this whole stream either. So it's all good. We're all together.
Anyway, hope you've enjoyed it. And until next time, we'll see you soon.
Bye.
Ta-ra. Oh, got it wrong again. No, no one can tell I didn't have pants on. No, definitely not.